Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Sheffield United match reaction. I'm looking smug right now, and I think we all know why. Because as you can see in the title, Blades win and BORO choke. You love to see it. Inject it. Just inject it. So good to see after BORO winning what seems to be about 400 games in a row this season. So it's nice to see them get beaten, and not just beaten, absolutely pulverized by a team that are, let's have a look, where are they in the league? They are, let's scroll down. Oh, 22nd. So, yeah, unlucky Borough. Anyway, yeah, the Blades go marching on. A very, very poor game, really poor game, not one for the neutrals. And I said to my dad, like, this game is there for the taking. Now, Norwich, this is the worst Norwich performance I've seen in a long time. Even at Bramall Lane, they took it to us. They scored 2 goals early on. And yeah, they weren't great defensively. But this game, Norwich just offered absolutely zilch until the 90 plus first minute. And the thing is, I've written a few things down in my phone, but I'll be honest with you. This is what I normally do. Normally, there's at least 10, 15, 20 comments that I make on certain minutes. There was 4. I wrote 4 things down. How bad is that? But yeah, it doesn't matter how bad the game is for the neutral. Who cares? Nobody cares about this one other than us getting those 3 points. 1-0. Let's do that long drive away from Norwich, knowing that we've taken a huge step towards promotion, or 3 huge steps, you could say, because we won and Borough didn't, if I've not already mentioned that. So, yeah, the first half was the tale of 2 headers, really, both for us. Sander heading the ball just wide, unmarked, completely unmarked. If that's Egan, I'm expecting him to score. With it being Sander, it just kind of come off the corner of his head. He tried to direct it into the corner. It just went wide, but you kind of just don't expect Sander to score them with his head, do you? Maybe with his foot, not with his head. And then on the 35th minute, Enel leaps up really well, keeps his header down really well as well. Unfortunately, doesn't keep it down enough, and it just hits the underside of the bar and comes out. I'm thinking, if that goes in, this could be a rout, because they were terrible. They just let us have all of the ball. And at one point, I think it was really early on, Teemu Pukki got the ball, and it was like he had no confidence whatsoever just to take it on and have a shot. Like, that's not the Teemu Pukki that we've seen light up the championship for years, and some games in the Prem as well. I remember him the first month of the Premier League one season getting Player of the Month. Like, he is a very, very good striker. But I've heard from Norwich fans that he's a different sort of player these days, a bit more of a Harry Kane, where he like brings players into the game rather than being that finished article right at the top of the pitch. They obviously use Sargent in that way as well to get forward, but Sargent was I don't remember seeing him have the ball at any point. They were really poor. They let us have a lot of the ball. There was massive gaps in the midfield where we could run into. We weren't great. Let's be honest, we weren't great at all. A lot of our big players did okay, but we both had one shot on target all game. Ours was the goal, which I'm assuming that's the shot on target. It's got to be. It's a shot. It's gone in. And theirs was in the 91st minute. So, yeah, like I say, not one for the neutrals, but we don't care. We come away with a 1-0 win. And let's go on to talking about the goal for a second. It was a weird one. Illy running into the box, just kind of a bit lackluster, just lays it across to Max Lowe. The worst shot you will ever see in your life. I think he almost kicks it on from his left onto his right, and it bobbles towards the goal. And McAtee is just alive. He's the only one in the box that's alive, other than the goalkeeper. But the goalkeeper, Angus Gunn, just didn't have enough time to react. James McAtee was in like a shot, flicks the ball past the goalkeeper, and we are 1-0 up. At the time, I thought this was offside, I'll be honest. But I've seen it across the line. I don't think we've seen many instant replays of it right down the line. But I've seen it down the line, and he was onside, miles onside. So a really, really good run from James McAtee. I would have been really annoyed if the lino would have given that as offside, because obviously it wasn't, and he wouldn't have done his job right. But yeah, he was being played on by the right back, I believe. It could have been Max Aarons, it could have been somebody else, but he was played on by players from this side rather than anyone near him, and that's what quite often happens when players look miles offside. You've got a right back or a left back just playing him completely on, and that's how it happened. But it had to be alive, and the thing is, James McAtee has scored some really important goals for us this season. We haven't scored too many goals from too many areas. Like, we've scored a lot of goals across the team, but not many 5, 6, 7s. And I think McAtee's got 5 or 6 now, to be honest. And it just shows how much of a big player he's been for us in the second half of the season. He didn't do too much for us in the first half of the season, but the second half, he's come alive. He really has. He's a different player to what he was earlier in the season. And do you know what? Halfway through this game, or a quarter through the second half, I was saying, get him off. He's been rubbish in this game. But this is what these big players do. They do nothing for a lot of the game, and then they will come up with a little bit of brilliance or just be quicker than anybody else, nick in and score a goal. And that's what McAtee's done. I thought Doyle had a really good game as well today, but yeah, a lot of the players in the final third didn't really offer a lot of exciting, innovative play. It was just, yeah, we got into that final third, and the final ball just was never good enough. Illiman did okay. Ollie McBurney, I don't know whether he's carrying an injury, but he just doesn't seem to be able to get around the pitch. And he did okay in the first half with holding the ball up, but kind of lost his way towards the end of the first half and the second half. He's not quite the same player as he was, I think, just before the last injury. So obviously he needs to play up front because we've got nobody else. It was nice to see Will Asula on the bench as well today. Obviously Billy came on. We'll come on to that in just a few moments. Yeah, we didn't have a lot going forward, in all honesty, but it doesn't matter. When you take your chance, when you get that chance, that's all that matters. And we won so many games this season, 1-0, and we're probably going to keep doing that. And let's just go on for a second to how many points we really realistically need until now and the end of the season. We only need to win 5 games. We probably only need to win 4 games, but if we win 5 games and Borough win every last game, or Luton win every last game, because Luton are on the same points as Borough now. They've got a miles worse goal difference, but Luton are probably just as much of competition for that second spot as Borough are, because they are doing the same as us. They're winning 1-0s and 2-0s every week. So yeah, Luton, hats off to them. They're doing fantastically this season. They really are. So yeah, realistically, we need probably 4 wins. 4 wins out of 8, which is crazy, isn't it, really? Because if we win our 5 games, 5 out of 8, that would mean that Borough and or Luton would need to win every game, and Luton or Borough would need to then have a better goal difference, which I'm assuming Borough would have a better goal difference if they won every single game, but they're not going to do that. They showed today. They went to Huddersfield's ground. I can't remember what it's called now. It's probably been changed. The name's probably changed about 4 or 5 times since I last knew what it was. But they went to the, I want to say McAlpine Stadium, because that's what the last time I remember it. They went there today and they got battered. I've just seen the goals, and probably at least 2 or 3 of the goals were really bad defending, really bad, like just not alive to anything, just stood around and not clearing the ball. Now, today you saw James McAtee in the last minute sprinting back, absolutely breaking his neck to get back and get in position to try and block a shot. And that's just what Hecky's obviously got into the boys, that you need to break your neck to stop anything and everything, because that's We haven't done that too much this season until recently. The Spurs game is really where I first saw it, and I know a lot of these may have been different players, but they were throwing themselves in front of absolutely everything and dying for the cause. And that's what we've been doing the last few games. We've I think earlier on we thought we're too good for some of these teams. We are blowing teams away, and then we just kind of fell away a bit. Drew a few games, lost a few games, and then we're like, no, we're not better than everybody else. We need to put it in. We need to defend as strong as what we can, and try and take those chances. And that's exactly what we've done. We've not been blowing teams away. We've not been massively on form for a long time. To be fair, probably not since the beginning of the season when we were beating teams 3 and 4-0. We've not been that good up top for a long time. So just managing to manage games, nicking a goal here and there, playing some really good football and scoring a goal, and then just kind of defending well enough to keep them out. This is how teams get promoted. I think Bournemouth did a lot of that last season. They weren't particularly great last season. They got promoted. I think we haven't been particularly great in a lot of games this season, but it's looking now like we may get promoted. I don't want to say too much because I'm thinking right now, I'm going to put it out there, that it will have to take a colossal mess up, if you like, for us to not go up now. Like I said, 5 wins from 8. We should get that anyway, to be perfectly honest. And then the other 2 teams have got to win every single game. So if we go and beat Wigan and then go on to Burnley, I feel like if we can beat Wigan, then that opens the gap even more. And it's just putting pressure on 3rd and 4th. I think Borough were thinking all the pressure's on Sheffield United, and now all the pressure's on Borough because they've got to win pretty much every game to have any sort of chance of finishing second. Now, like I said earlier, Luton, I think Luton's got a really good chance of getting promoted this season. And the thing was, I think everybody thought if Borough don't get promoted in the by going up in top 2, then they're going to get promoted by going up through the playoffs. And Luton are just showing that they're not the only informed team, because Luton have been great. I watched the Luton goals just before I came on the stream as well. And to brush aside a team like Watford is fantastic. Like Watford have got a lot of good players. They've got a good manager, in my opinion. And I think that Watford thought that they were going to be turning a bit of a corner. And it's not to be. They've had some really tough games up to now. Hopefully for Chris Wilder and the team, they've got a few easier games, because obviously Watford are not going to be troubling us. So I'd like Chris to do well. But anyway, let's circle back to Sheffield United against Norwich, because the only good shot, the only 2 things that they did in the 53rd minute, they put a good low, hard cross into the box, which Wes made a really good save, pushed it away, and then we got rid of the ball. And then the 91st minute, the ball comes out to, I am not sure, I'll be honest, I am not sure who it was, but he takes a shot. It either swerves in the air and dips, or it takes a deflection. I've not seen it from the angle where I can make that judgment. And Wes is going to the left, and then he manages to get his hand across and kind of usher it towards his body. So a really good save from Wes to keep it at 1-0. Even a draw today with them losing wouldn't have been a terrible result. But the fact that we've gone to Norwich and beaten them, let's be honest, Norwich are never any mugs other than today, really. I think if we'd have been on form today, we could have beaten Norwich 2-3, 4-0. They were that bad. They were really, really that bad. So let's go into some comments, because it wasn't one for the neutrals. I don't think we're going to have loads and loads of views on this video, other than people celebrating because Borough have choked. And we've won, obviously, because this was not a game for anyone, really. Obviously, the Blades are happy that we've come away with 3 points, but it certainly wasn't one that I massively enjoyed watching, other than the goal. Hello, TikTok Jebo. Yes, hello to you. Up the Terriers, absolutely, Lennon. Absolutely. Gotta love Neil Warnock and them Terriers. Awesome day, Blades. Yes, Stuart. That 6-point gap is looking good now. Agent Warnock. I said this in the preview video that Neil Warnock will want to get one up on Borough. He's been waxing lyrical about them all week, saying how good they are. I think that was all mind games. I really do. And obviously, Warnock's going to want to do us a big, big favour, and he's done it. He really has. What a day Luke has had. Can't stop smiling. Sander could have finished that. Yes, the header. He really, really could have done. Had 20 quid on Huddersfield at 4-1. Well done, Alan. I had a feeling that Huddersfield might get something out of this game today, but I certainly didn't think they were going to win, and I definitely didn't think they were going to score 4 goals. I really, really don't. Nick, thoughts on Villa's bid for Anel? To be honest, I don't think Anel's going anywhere. If we're getting promoted, he's going to want to play football for Sheffield United in the Premier League. So it's going to have to be a lot of money for us to accept. So if we do get that much money, obviously we can then spread it around and buy a load of good players for the Premier League, which we are hoping we're going to be in. What about Billy's shot? Oh my God! Of course. I talked about the Anel header earlier on. Billy Sharp's shot. I've not written that down. Sorry, guys. Gaza, I need to go through this. Thank you very much for bringing this. What a shot from Billy Sharp. Cuts in on his right foot on the left-hand side. It's such an acute angle as well. What a fantastic hit. It hits the kind of the top end of the post, and then it lands to Baldock, and he tries to control the ball, miscontrols it, and nearly miscontrols it into the net. What a strike from Billy Sharp. That's probably one of Billy Sharp's best strikes for years, because Billy Sharp's not one of those players that scores those sorts of goals, is he? He's the fox in the box that gets himself in the right place and finishes. But that was one hell of a hit, and probably deserved to go in, to be fair, with how good a shot it was. I think as well, Billy Sharp's not a massive admirer of Norwich either, so he's probably wanting to score against them, to be honest. And he was very, very close to doing that. We could have easily gone 9 points clear next week with a game in hand. Surely that should see us over the line. Probably. Evening, Wolfgang Bailey. Good old Colin sorting things out for the club he loves. Absolutely. It's 100% on. I swore it was off before I had to. Do you know what I was saying to my dad earlier on? I texted him and I said, today is the first time for probably 5 months maybe, where we could not be second by the end of it. Because if Borough would have won and we would have lost today, they would have been second and they would have had a much better goal difference. So, it's just mad how things turn around. Because, to be honest, I wasn't expecting us to lose to Norwich today, because I knew that Norwich weren't that good. And I knew that we were on a bit of a high after the Blackburn Cup game. But I never expected us to win and them to lose. So, it's crazy. McAtee's on 6 now. That's fantastic for him. Really, really good for him. Yes, Luke Van Dome, absolute legend. Great day to be a Blade. Don't forget to like the stream, sports fans. Helps the channel out. What a guy. What an absolute legend. Just a little bonus for you. Doyle has man of the match on FIFA. Oh, I did not know that. Scott, thank you for that. I will be all over that as soon as I come off here. I saw that Max Lowe got man of the match, maybe for that incredible assist for McAtee. Who knows? We have to play Huddersfield next. Don't count our chickens. Absolutely. I don't think we've got them next. I think we've got Wigan next, and then we'll have Huddersfield in the future. But absolutely. Need to beat Wigan next. They won today, so they're not giving up. That's exactly what I thought, because obviously they are. I think they're well out of it. I don't think Wigan's got a chance, but clearly they're taking points off teams, so we can't expect that we're going to beat Wigan. We really can't. The ability to grind out results when we are not our best, it'll send us up. Absolutely will. Great performance today. Got to love. NW. Is that me? Is that me? Because that's my initials, yeah? Yeah, gotta love me. Gotta love me. Definitely. That's what you meant. I'd love to see Luton in the Prem by the playoffs. I agree. I don't want to see Borough there now. I really, really don't. I want to see Luton there. That'd be fantastic. If we could go up second and Luton go up in the playoffs, that'd be great. It really would. Luton more of a threat. People agreeing with me. Luton play Middlesbrough soon. Oh, so they both can't win all their games. I didn't realize that they had started to play each other. Big shout out to me again. I'm guessing once a blade. I'm once a blade, always a blade. Absolutely, Paul. But a result, nobody saw that coming. I think a few people did because a few people bet on it. Some people have tweeted me saying that they've put a bet on it and they've showed me the betting slip. So yeah, people did think it. They might not have thought it. It might have been wishful thinking. You're absolutely right, Nick. Surprised how poor Norwich looked today. We will take it. Do you know what, Simon? That's one thing that you can say this season, which we've been a bit lucky with. We've been to Norwich when they've been dreadful. We've been to West Brom when they've been dreadful. We've been to Reading, who were towards the top, when they were dreadful away from home. We've played a lot of teams this season, gone there, and they've been dreadful. And we've come away with 3 points, which is fantastic. If promotion does happen, we just have to sign both of the City boys. I can't see that happening, to be honest, Alan. I can see us possibly signing Doyle, maybe 15 million, something like that. But I can see it. I really can. I thought Billy's shot was deflected, but he ripped it. No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was, to be honest. I think it was as true as you can be. I'm sure it was. Shot best strike versus Shrewsbury. Yes, I'm glad you've remembered that one because Billy Sharp does not score from distance, and that goal against Shrewsbury was an absolute thunderbolt. Fantastic. I don't think the volley against Leeds was as good as what a lot of people make out. I think it could score that a fair few times. That goal against Shrewsbury, he's not scoring again for a long time. Good evening, Mr. Jimmy Blades Ramble. How are you doing? It's great to have you. Can you imagine Liverpool or City or Man United players turning up at Luton? It'd be fantastic. All the expectations from kind of like Liverpool fans of going to amazing grounds and then going to Luton. Oh, I'd love to see it. I really, really would. Still waiting for the big game Berger to step up. I don't think we need it. I don't think we need him to step up. We're doing well enough as it is. We really are. 24th of April, Luton versus Borough. Can't wait for that. Love to see a draw. I really, really would. I think we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you very much. I'm absolutely buzzing, as you can probably see. I've got a beer here, absolutely buzzing. Brooklyn Brewery. And yeah, I've been off my beer last few weeks, but I've definitely got on it today after we've beaten Norwich away from home and gone 6 points clear with the game in hand. You'll love to see it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like the video before you leave, as Luke Van Dome said earlier on. Yeah, looks like we are one step close to promotion. Up the Blades!